Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Saturday, the 22nd of January 2022. It's the 22s at either end. Um, Hope you're going to have a great weekend. It's a pretty early morning here. We had a bit of rain either early this morning or late last night. It woke me up, and so things have cooled down rather here. We don't have that early morning sunshine, and I don't feel like early morning sunshine right now. But anyway, I'm going to try to attempt today's expert level Guardian Sudoku puzzle. Now, if you are new to the channel or new to the Guardian, I should warn you that if you are here expecting expert level, as in experts that you find on some internet puzzles, you probably won't find something of that level. It's very rare that the Guardian expert level is truly expert. It's often, or sometimes rather, quite difficult, and quite often just a kind of medium or even and occasionally even easy level game. So don't quite know what to expect. But anyway, what's happening in the news? I see that scientists at UNESCO have discovered a huge coral reef off the coast of Tahiti in the Pacific there, and it's 2 miles long, which is great, and it's not known. It was not known about before. And the reason is it's so deep in the ocean, and apparently after examination, it does not seem to have suffered from bleaching, which of course is a problem for a lot of coral reefs. And the reason is because it's so deep, and they hope to gather more technology to examine and explore deep level oceans, or rather the oceans at deep level, to discover more. Um, it would be nice to bring you good news every day, or not every day, but quite often. But apparently, it's quite difficult to find. Some days when I'm searching through the newspaper trying to find one story to focus on, it's really depressing. A few years back, I did actually stop reading the newspapers, and I mean, before the internet became so pervasive, and people used to get their news from television and newspapers. I actually used to write a column in a newspaper as well, and I I never even knew when my column appeared because I had stopped reading the newspapers because I just was so depressed with the constant news that seemed to be unchanging. It was depressing and the same forevermore. But now with the internet and our total online connected lives the whole time, I think it's quite difficult to avoid. Anyway, so let's embrace the badness, but let's try to find some positive stuff from time to time as well. Right, let's have a look at this grid now. What do we see? Oh, okay, so I've seen something, but I better quickly explain the rules because I usually do in the mornings. The grid, 9 squares by 9 squares, has rows and columns, and we fit numbers 1 to 9 in each square. And we also have these outlined boxes, whatever you want to call them, which also contain digits 1 to 9. And it's a puzzle, and that's what we do. We fit in the digits 1 to 9. Oh, I saw something. I've lost it again. Where's it gone? Oh yeah, there it is. So for example, there's 7 blocks across this row here. When I say blocks across, what I mean is 7 cannot reappear in any of these squares, and in particular, not in either of these two. So that means 7 is limited to one of these 3 squares here, right? Now, if 7 appears here, it blocks the rest of this row. If 7 appears here, it blocks the rest of this row, and the same for this square here. So we can conclude that 7 cannot be in either of these 2 squares here. Now, this 7 stops these 2 squares, as mentioned, it blocks all the way across, and then 7 blocks up here. So we can say that 7 must appear in that square there, because all other squares are blocked to it. Got it? Alright, okay, that's how we play the game of Sudoku then. All we have to do is do that until the 81 squares are filled. Oh no, I thought I'd seen something and I was wrong. Oh yes, I have. Okay, so this row now does not yet contain a digit 1, but it can't, digit 1 cannot appear in this square here because we already have a 1 in this block, right? So 1 can't be here. Now this one stops this square from being a 1, and this one stops this square from being a 1, and so we know that 1 must appear in that square there, in that row. And now we can say this 9 blocks down this column here, 9 blocks up this column, leaving just this square here available for a 9. So I'm just kind of letting my eyes rest on the grid at the moment. I'm not really doing anything. My own way of playing, which is not the same as everybody's way, is just to kind of let numbers speak to me. Okay, somebody, the 8s have spoken to me. I don't know if it's speaking in tongues or any kind of clear language, but anyway, 8s block across here, 8s block across here, and 8 blocks up here. And the 8 fits here. When I say speak to me, what I mean is there are just so many, the patterns just kind of like jump up at you, you know, after you've played the game quite often, I think. 8 blocks up here, 8 blocks up here, and 8 blocks across here. So the 8 fits into that square there. I have looked, now that my eye is directed up here, I have noticed something, although it's not particularly consequential yet. I have noticed that 4 and 5 are in this row, and 4 and 5 are in this row. So if we think about the 4 and 5 blocking across both of these rows, it means that 4 and 5 will be placed in these 2 squares here. As I've said, it's not particularly consequential yet, although actually now I've seen something else. Oh no. No, not quite. Not quite. Yeah, so that will be 4 and 5 there. We also know that with the 8 we just put in, the 8s will be here, like that. Again, not, you know, it's not a great deal yet, but it's something, right? Something. Something to keep in mind for later, right? Where else should we be journeying to? And so after a brief period of trying to let the numbers speak to me, they go dumb or I go deaf, either way. And so at that point I need to start looking at the numbers in a more orderly fashion, try following them around the board one by one. So, you know, I kind of, let's examine the 1. I know that it blocks across here, so I know 1 is in either this square or this square, that kind of thing. I can also see that the 1 is blocks across here, so we've got 2 possibilities here. And now I've seen this one blocking this square. So great. So now we actually can see, if we examine this column here, we've got a 1 blocking here, a 1 blocking here, and a 1 blocking here. So this is the only available square where we can place digit 1, and now 1 across here, 1 across here, and 1 up there. So we can place a 1 there, 1 down this column, and across here. That's a 1 there. That's as far as we can go with digit 1, because we're now left with 1s in this square, or this square, or this square, or this square, and we can't tell which is which from just having that left. This 6 might be useful. I'm not sure why, but, well, I am sure why, but I'm not sure if it will be useful or not. But it blocks down here, meaning that 6 will be limited to one of these 2 squares here. You know, as I say, you kind of follow the patterns along. So it's going to block across here. So no 6 allowed in these squares. We've got 6 blocking here. I put 6 here or here. We know already this is 4 or 5, so okay. So it didn't turn out to be anything, but you know, you have to investigate and look at these kind of things when you see them, right? And that's even if it's not in the order. I mean, I started with digit 1 and I started looking at 6 because I saw a pattern. And I think that's probably what most of us do when we're playing this game. So what's going on with the 2s? Well, 2 blocking across here and across here, so we can place 2 in one of these 2 squares. But that is about all we can do, because we don't really have much information on 2s in the top 2/3, some but not much, so we shall not worry too much about that for now. Let's have a look at 3s and see what's going on with 3s. Okay, so 3 is limited to these 2 squares here. Do you remember I said 4 and 5 are here? Right, 4 and 5 must be in these 2 squares. We've got 4 and 5 blocking along. Now we've got a 3 blocking along this row, so we know 3 cannot appear in any of these 4 squares. Now we have an intersecting 3 down here, so 3 appears in one of these 2 squares here, right? Now, so if the 3 is here, it blocks this row. If the 3 is here, it blocks this row. So these 2 squares are now eliminated. This 3 stops this square from being a 3, and this 3 stops that square from being a 3. And so we can deduce that 3 is in that square, and now 3 blocks down this column, and 3 is definitely in that square there. The 3's now will be here, and well, there's a few possibilities here, not that. Right, okay, so that's as far as we can go with the 3's. The 4's. 4 has to be one of these squares. 4 blocks down here, so 4 will be in one of these 2 squares here, so that blocks back up. So we can put 4. We can definitely say 4 is not available here, so that just leaves those 2 squares there. Of course, up there as mentioned previously, so here, but not enough information really to do much more, so let's not worry too much about that. The 5's as mentioned up there again. Now 5 blocks down here, so 5 will be in one of these 2 squares here. 5 has to be in one of these 2 squares here. Down here 5 is like that. So this is not a pattern where we can resolve. We've got 5 in the left column, right column, middle column, right column, left column, middle column. So we can't get anything from that, unfortunately. We have 5's here. That's about it. So no, can't do much else on that. The 6, as mentioned, blocks and will appear in one of these 2 squares here. So that puts 6 in one of these 2 squares. 6 here, one of these 2 here. And there's a helicopter flying over. It's a very low helicopter. Knocked me off my concentration there for a moment. We don't get too many of those. Occasionally. It's nearly always army helicopters in Bangkok. Sometimes it means there's a coup taking place, but not this time in the morning, so I'm not worried about that. What else is going on? 6 is right. We can't do too much else. 7's then. 7's are limited to these 2 squares. We've got 7 blocking up here, 7 blocking up here, so we've got 7 in those 2 squares there. Down here, 7 blocks down here, 7 across, 7 is in one of these 2 squares here. 7 is in this row here, one of these 3 squares. This row here as well. Oh dear. And I think just about anywhere up there, so okay, can't get much. How about the 8's? What's going on with the 8's? We've got 8's in these 2 squares down here now. 8's here and here. Now, earlier on, I think we mentioned something else in there, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, no, sorry, 8's we've already got. Oh. Sorry. Cancel that thought. Proof that I never rehearse or practice or know anything about these games. I just blindly, stupidly go my way along till getting to the end. Hopefully without messing up. Not much else about 8 actually. 8s are like this, and like that. There for 8s. Okay, right, 9. Let's go on with a 9. 9s are in these two squares here. 9s are in these two squares because 9, okay, 9 blocks this square here, so 9 will have to be somewhere in this row, the right column rather, the right hand column. We have a 9 blocking the middle square, so we've got 9 in this square or this square here. 9 there or there. Okay, so I think, excuse me, I think now it's time to start looking for other things. When I say other things, I'm still talking about digits 1 to 9, but I mean using other ways of thinking about how to find the number rather than just going one and kind of, you know, just following along one digit. So what else should we be investigating? I think we actually got 3 numbers here, so we could get the 4th, right? This, no, we didn't. I tell a lie. Okay, 5 blocks down here, so 5 is in this square or this square. 4 blocks here and here, so 4 is here or here. So 4 is here and here, 5 is here and here. The other numbers are 2 and 9. 9 is here and here. The 2, though, no, the 2 is not forthcoming. So that's a bit of a pain. Alright, let's, so I can't do anything about that row. Let's investigate this row. Missing. So we have 1 over here. The 2, we don't know. The 4 could be there or there. The 5. Okay. Let's have a look up here. Let's have a look at this row, shall we, and see what we can find. We could have our 2 in several places. That's not good. Our 6. 6 is possible in this square or this square. 7 can do what it feels like. 8s are over here. Getting nowhere with that. What about this column down here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 already. We don't have 6, 7, and 9. These 3 squares must contain 6, 7, and 9. Okay, so we've got 6 blocking this square and a 9 blocking this square. So this, in fact, must be a 7 because 6, 7, and 9 are in the missing, are in the empty squares, I should say. So now we're left with 6 and 9 in these 2 squares. Can we tell which is which? No, we can't. Just yet. Fives are here. That hasn't affected much, has it really? I was still not going to give me anything useful along here. Or even within this block, because the intersecting digits are just not there of the ones that we need. It's all the numbers we already have. So, Sorry for the silence. I am looking at the grid, and I'm not tearing my hair out or anything like that. If I were, you would no doubt hear me, right? So clearly I'm not. But I do need to try to focus a bit more. It's these damned twos. We really need some help on twos. If we could get some help on twos, things would be much clearer, I'm sure. Ah, have I discovered something? Okay, missing digits in this column are 2, 5, 6, 9. Right, we don't have 2, we don't have 5, we don't have 6, we don't have 9. 2, 5, 6, 9. Okay, so we've got 2, 6, and 9 blocking this square here, or attacking this square here, or seen by this square here as the preferred verb, I think, for Sudokans. And I think that's going to help us now. So 5 blocks across here, and the 5 we just placed here, because it can't be 9, 6, or 2. So it has to be the 5 blocks across there. So 5 will be there. Five blocks this square, 5 blocks this square. 5 has to go there. Do you remember there's 4 and 5 up here? So 5 stops that from being 5. So 5 is there. 4 is there. This can't be 4. 4 goes here. Hooray! We got another 2 and another 2 there now. 2 blocking. Like that. Thank goodness we finally started to get some 2s. I think that's the number that's been causing me grief so far. Is it a 3 that's missing in this column? I do believe it is. Okay. Now 3 blocks up here, 3 blocks across here, so 3 will be in that square there. One digit missing across here, it's got to be a 2. If you're wondering why it took me such a long time to see that, because I was looking elsewhere at other things. You know, sometimes you maybe think, well, look, there's an obvious empty square there. Why aren't you doing something about it? I'm just not even looking in that location. My view is very focused on particular boxes or blocks or regions or whatever at a particular time, and I haven't even noticed what is going on in the other areas of the grid sometimes when I'm playing, and I think probably you do too, but you probably don't notice it because you're not making videos of these things, right? It's when you make a video you notice how weird it really is. This has got to be a 4. If you remember, we had 4 in one of these squares before. 4 blocks down here. 4 will be in one of these 2 squares, blocking back up there. So 4 must fit in that square there. This 9 stops this square from being 9, so 9 is here, and 5 is the last number we need there. 5 blocks across here, 5 down here, 5 is in here. 2 is our last number for this row. Finally, our 2s are really much easier to see position now. Right, I'm almost ready for breakfast, so let's hurry up and finish this game off now, I think, because it's definitely time for breakfast now. My stomach is telling me. So let's get on with it. Come on, where are you? Where should I be looking? Probably down here. Let's see what we have and haven't got yet. So 2s are in these squares here, 4s are in these squares here, 6 blocks this, but apart from that can go anywhere. So how about the 9? No, 9 blocks down here. 9 down here. Okay, 9 blocks down here. So 9 is in one of these 2 squares, which blocks back up here. 9 blocking up here. So that must be our 9, which I could have known anyway, because I already knew 9 was in one of these 2 squares up there. Blocking this way. Could have deduced it from that anyway. Right, what's missing from here and here? I think 6 and 7, right? And we still don't have any intersecting 6s or 7s, so we'll hold off on that for the moment. Right, where to go next? It's almost done, isn't it? I mean, there's not going to be any kind of tricky logic or anything at this stage, I'm pretty sure of it. So it's almost done, just a matter of bookkeeping, as I remember one Sudoku used to call it, not in this channel, but on a Facebook page, who really hates games that don't have severe logic puzzles in them. He used to say, oh, it's just bookkeeping. So let's get on with the bookkeeping. What's happening in this row here? We've got 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4, which is limited to these 2 squares. Also there. Okay, we don't have 6. We don't have 7, which is limited here. Okay, so 4 and 7 block these 2 squares. So 4 and 7 must be in these 2 squares because we don't have 4 or 7 in this row. So what's left goes here, and what's left is 6 and 9. Is that right? 6 and 9? Yeah, because of course it was 6 and 9. Yeah, 6 and 9, 6 and 9, right? And we still can't get it. Oh, how annoying. 6, 9, 6, 9. 4, 7, 4, 7 here. Alright, knowing this is 4 and 7, is that going to give us any other assistance? Oh, the 3, look, okay. 3 blocks across here, 3 blocks across here, and 3 blocks down there, so we can fit a 3 there. Now I realise where I should have been looking. We have the 8 here. One blocks across this row, 1 blocks across this row. So 1 is here, that's a 1, that's our 4. And so now 4 will be here and 7 will be there. Eight blocks this square, 8 blocks this square, so 8 is here like so. 6 stops this from being 6, so 6 is here, our 9 is here, and our 9 is here. 9 now blocking up this column, 9 blocking that square, 9 will be there. 6 blocking up this column, 6 will be there. Right, okay, let's come back. I was looking up in the top there, didn't get what I wanted. you can't always get what you want. So let's come back down here and see what's missing from here. Okay, we have the 2 blocking across here. 2 is in these 2 squares. 6 blocks this square, so 6 is in these 2 squares. So whatever's left goes here, and whatever's left is a 4. 4 blocks across here, 4 blocks down here. That's a 4 we can place there now. The 2 missing numbers look to be 7 and 8. So we've got blocking 7 there. We also had a blocking 8 there, so whichever way, it's the same thing. 8 blocks up here, 8 blocks across here. 8 fits there. 6 blocks up here, so 6 is there. 7 is there. 7 blocks that square, so 7 fits there. 2 is here. 1 digit across this row. The missing number is 6. And by the way, I've enjoyed this game. Those people about to hang up, if you haven't already hung up. Sorry, I was getting my participle of hang mixed up there. If you haven't already hung up and you are still watching, I would like to say I enjoyed this game. Was it an expert level game? No, but was it enjoyable? Yes. I like the way it kind of pushed me around the grid a bit. 2 is the last number for this column, of course. 2 blocks this square here, so 2 goes here. 7 is the last number there. Yeah, some games, it doesn't matter what level they are labeled as, or whether they're easy, medium, or hard. Some games just seem to appeal more than others, and especially sometimes I think when you're doing with pen and paper. By the way, if you're only doing this on the computer, I recommend you try a pen and paper sometimes. I think it's quite a different experience, and sometimes quite enjoyable. Okay, that's it. Hopefully I'll be back with more Sudoku sometime. Bye bye.